What does fire breathing, the wheel of death, and badass acrobatic feats remind you of? It calls to mind the acts we see in a Cirque du Soleil show. But who was the genius behind the concept of bringing together talented individuals to perform death-defying acts that left an imprint in our memory? It was Guy Laliberté, a Canadian businessman with a net worth that currently stands at $1.2 billion. Learn the story of passion and creativity that kickstarted the creation of one of the most colorful entertainment businesses in the world. It all began in Canada, with a passionate accordion player by the name of Guy Laliberté. Guy thought of street acts when he was still a teenager. For him, the allure of adventure was too great to resist, and Quebec, while a very nice place, lacked that oomph Guy was looking for. This set the stage for the initial founding of Cirque du Soleil. Dropping out of school at the age of 15, he decided to pursue playing the accordion for real, traveling around Europe and experiencing firsthand what all street performers learn day in and day out. The first lesson that Guy learned quickly was the importance of money. Surviving on the streets in a foreign country was a huge gamble. You better had your finances in order if you wanted to stay alive. Fortunately for him, playing the accordion came naturally. Guy was quickly able to scramble a living and enjoyed going from one country to another in Europe to showcase his skills. On a fateful trip to England, Guy was performing his usual routine on the streets of London. When he got tired, he'd embrace what street performers usually did and slept on a bench in a park. On one of those occasions, a group of street performers stumbled upon Guy while he was sleeping. However, and here's where it gets interesting, these dudes were not your typical performers. They had some cool tricks to show, like doing crazy jumps and playing around with dangerous tools to attract people and earn a living. Some of them were puppeteers as well, and others were extremely fit individuals who thrived on physical activity. The group saw Guy performing previously and were impressed by his skills. Likewise, Guy was immediately inspired, and he learned from this talented group key skills that would later be included in the Cirque du Soleil. For years of doing that, and Guy would soon realize that performing on its own would never sustain him. It filled him with passion and allowed him to see the world, but it was difficult to pay for all these expenses. At the age of 19, he found himself back in Quebec, looking for a secure job opportunity while juggling his hobby as a street performer. What kind of job did he look for? Well, anything really. He just needed a way to get the money flowing by any means necessary. This would lead him to find a job at a hydroelectric power plant. And yes, it was hard to leave behind the excitement of performing on the streets and settle for a normal job, but luckily for Guy, he would only be there for 3 days before the workers in the power plant went on a strike. What was he supposed to do now? He went back to performing full-time. However, Guy had an idea. What if he could recreate the experience he had in London? What if he could join up with a team of performers and form their own group? That's exactly what he did. He connected with other top street performers in Quebec and started their own troupe. On the 450th anniversary of the discovery of Canada, in 1984, Guy would find himself one step closer to his goal. The government of Canada was offering a grant for any talented individual or group of individuals who could start a cultural event on this special day. By then, Guy's troupe had several members in it. One of the most talented among them was Gilles Ste Croix. Gilles participated in a cultural event by walking 56 miles on stilts to win the grant. This was a game changer for the troupe. The government awarded them a $1.5 million and asked them to stage a group performance tour that would span the entire province. What did Guy do here? He saw an opportunity and seized it. He exercised his entrepreneurial skills and came up with a name for the tour. It would be called Le Grand Tour du Cirque du Soleil. Cirque du Soleil stands for Circus of the Sun. The name stood for the vitality and energy that the acts demanded, and so it seemed natural for Guy to settle on such a name. Obviously, everyone loved it. The tour's beginning was rough. Guy and his friends faced many setbacks, including a severe storm that would force them to cancel some of their most high-profile performances. This did not stop Guy, however, and the tour continued. Despite all the odds stacked against him, Guy's Cirque du Soleil drew positive attention from people all over Canada. This passion project was set to last a whole year, but due to the overwhelming positivity, the troupe went above and beyond. With the support of the Canadian government once again, Guy Laliberté would lead the troupe to become an official circus for Real, thanks to the funding he received. The business model was now established, and the circus revolution was in full force. Cirque du Soleil would expand quickly, finding positive reception in over 50 countries and dazzling over 150 million spectators in 300 cities with professional performances that never got old. Now, Cirque du Soleil was transforming into a proper organization, with 5,000 employees working in 5 continents. What made the Cirque du Soleil so popular? For one thing, Guy emphasized simplicity. Animals and rings were forbidden, and the emphasis was always on performing flashy acts that told a story. In fact, it could be argued that this storytelling component was what made the circus so special. Sure, everyone loved seeing those awesome knife-juggling acts, but it was even more awesome when there was context behind it. Guy also used his background as a musician. He saw that people were more engaged when there was atmospheric music playing in the background, and so music was an essential component of Cirque du Soleil. Of course, it should be mentioned that for a big part of the Cirque's history, Guy Laliberté was a co-founder. His business partner was Gilles Ste Croix, and in 2000, Guy bought out 95% of Gilles' stake in the company, leaving him as the sole decision-maker and acting CEO. In 2015, Guy would sell 85% of his stake in the company to an American-Chinese business conglomerate for a grand total of $1.5 billion. Even here, Guy was a visionary. He explained that the reason for selling his stake was to avoid having his children take over the business. He believed they should be free to find their own unique path in life, and that giving them reign over Cirque du Soleil would stand in the way. Overall, Guy Laliberté went from nothing to establishing a thriving business that continues to wow people and generate profits. What is the educational value behind Guy's story? It can be summed up as follows. Passion. If there's one key takeaway from Guy's story, it's passion. The man believed in his vision to turn a simple street performing act into a billion-dollar business. It was not easy, and it took a long time to do it, but Guy's passion burned brighter with each challenge he took on. Integrity. Guy is a role model for many aspiring investors and young entrepreneurs. He always maintains that integrity is crucial for success in business. What does integrity even mean? For Guy, it's about never compromising the initial values that you had when starting out. As your investment project or business evolves, it can be tough to stick to your principles. For example, integrity keeps you focused on what your business is and what it isn't. If you receive a business proposal that doesn't sit in line with your ultimate vision, it's better to look for something more suitable instead of accepting it and compromising your business model. 50% creativity and 50% business management. Creativity is what spurred Guy on to find Cirque du Soleil. The idea came abruptly, and he didn't plan for it before. This creativity is what you need to leave a permanent mark in the business world. On its own, however, it's not enough. You need to supplement creativity with strong business management skills to apply your ideas in a way that brings you profit and constant success. This is the methodology that Guy followed since his days as an accordion player, where he quickly learned that creativity alone doesn't pay the bills. There's no doubt that Guy was a special individual. He challenged societal norms, stuck to his guns, pursued his passions full-time, and never waited for anyone to go after what he wanted. From his days as a humble street performer to owning Cirque du Soleil and dominating the entertainment industry, Guy Laliberté never faltered. He saw an opportunity and capitalized on it by giving people what they wanted to see. And you? Have you enjoyed Guy Laliberté's story? Are you looking for more? Don't forget to check out our full playlist where we take a look at some of the world's richest and most successful and analyze what got them there.